Praesium Scythii. Morrowind is a game that gives the player a wide range of settlements to explore, each with their own unique aesthetic. From Breton-like houses of Pleiadiad on the southern shores of Lake Amara, to the northern shores of the Sea of Ghosts that is home to the Sheogorad region, home to the Dwemer and Nordic-influenced settlements of Dagenfell, from the mighty Telvanni mushroom towers in the east to the quaint Bitter Coast fishing villages in the west. Morrowind is a game whose population centres still provide the players awe even 2 decades later. But what if you limited yourself to a single place in this wondrous world? Could you beat Morrowind without leaving the settlement's confines? Obviously not, as Morrowind's main quest spans settlements, but keep with me here. How much can we achieve while staying in a settlement? Can we, arriving with nothing but what is on our backs, not only survive, but learn to thrive? That is what I wanted to know when I juggled this idea around in my head after going on a 3-week Morrowind binge. This series was inspired by various restricted playthroughs completed, perhaps most entertainingly, by ItsJabo and Joov. If you haven't watched their content, this is an obligatory plug. After leaving Seyda Neen, either via Silt Strider or by their own steam, I would wager that most new players head to the nearest major settlement, Balmora, the home of one of Morrowind's great houses, House Hlaalu. This will often be because the first main quest directs you to speak to Caius Cosades, who resides in the town. I decided to name our character Balmora Bethany for alliterative purposes, and picked a Breton as I really like their 50% resist magicka bonus. We specialised in magic and tagged intelligence and agility. I envisaged Bethany as a mage-thief hybrid, majoring in sneak, security, mysticism, alchemy and short blade, while minoring in speech, destruction, restoration, conjuration and mercantile. Before travelling to Balmora, we dropped all of our gold minus our travelling expenses. Upon arriving, we found the old sugar-toothed Caius across the Odai River. Evidently, he suffered from hypothyroidism, as he was shirtless. Or perhaps he was just coming down from his last high, I don't know. I'm not a skooma chucking swit. He made me a blade, gave me 200 gold, and directed me to 3 blade trainers in the town. Rithleen, Nine Toes, and Malalium. Rithian gave me a steel helm and a cuirass. Ty provided me an emlick, and Nine Toes, like the dirty farm tool he is, gave me 4 units of moon sugar. From one farm tool to another, I stopped by Revere to sell some loot and purchase a demon tanto. Next, I decided to do a bit of scavenging among the many crates that Balmora has to offer. Strangely enough, they're all unowned, so technically it's not stealing. I guess the saying is true, one Mer's trash is another Mer's treasure, and all that. It really is surprising the random items you can get, from a few pieces of gold, to potions, to soul gems and weapons. I aimed to join all of the possible factions in Balmora that I could, namely the Fighters, Mage and Thieves Guild, as well as the Tribunal Temple and House Hlaalu. To earn some more cash, I made legitimate use of the supply chests, as is my right as an associate of the guild, and sold what I didn't need. While at the temple, I picked up a Fortify attribute spell and buffed most of my attributes to over 1,000 because, to be honest, if the developers didn't want you to explore the game, they shouldn't have made it so damn explorable. You may be asking, how did you make it permanent? Simple. Make a spell with the first effect being Soul Trap on target and make sure that you cast said spell at the floor. And hey presto, permanent buffs. The Fighters Guild wanted us to exterminate some rats from a house on the other side of the river, and I was happy to oblige. Do you know that the Fighters Guild faction has a long history of rat-related quests, spanning all the way back to 1996 Daggerfall? When I first started playing Morrowind around 13 years ago, I can distinctly remember my second ever death coming at the hands of the 2 blasted rats in the storage. I used a silver short sword despite only having 5 skill levels and short blade. In this playthrough, the vermin posed no such trouble. Back across the river to the Lucky Lock Up to pick up some lockpicks to steal a diamond from the alchemist for the head of the town's thief guild, Sugar Lips Habashi. No awards for guessing why they call her that, especially as the fandom is full to the brim with furries. 3 diamonds and back across the river to turn in the quest before going back again to break into the house of the late Hlaalu noble Raylan Hlaalu. While this quest can be technically completed, while not being a member of House Hlaalu, the only house quest we will be able to complete in this playthrough will be to discover and serve justice to the murderer. The noble servant described the perpetrator as a Dunmore punk with bright hair in the fashionable style who has been seen hanging about in the council club. Coincidentally, we were going to check out the establishment anyway to receive the key to Nareno Manor from Habashi by talking to Sovil Trandel. In retrospect, I needn't have bribed him to get the key, as I could have taken it from his cold, dead hands. Really, I like to rationalise this, that Bethany is a sadist who enjoys emotionally manipulating people before twisting in the knife. Everyone in the council club claimed that Nine Toes had killed Hlaalu, and while I wasn't totally convinced, as this contradicted the servant's description, I knew that by the very nature of Nine Toes being a farm tool, they had a grudge against all Dunmerkind. After purging the council club and turning in the quest, Bethany decided that it was better to cover all bases and killed Nine Toes. Even if he was innocent of being a murderer, he was 100% guilty of being a lizard, and that was not something that could be excused. After receiving the 1,000 gold reward, Bethany had finally decided that she'd had enough of the Balmora populace. The buildings were nice enough and sunrises were beautiful beyond belief, but the people had to go. What followed would be forever remembered in Vardenfell folklore as the Balmoran Massacre of 3rd Era 427. Those that had been absent and returned in the aftermath were so mentally shattered and dismayed at the situation that they all turned to skooma. To remember the victims, an extra strong brew of the drug was created for the survivors that, I read this in a report, 86% of the survivors were dead by the time of the Oblivion Crisis 6 years later owing to overdosing on this potent brew. Can you beat Morrowind without leaving Balmora? No, but I do hope that you've enjoyed this little challenge run. If you liked this video, please feel free to leave a like or comment below, and feel free to recommend where I should do a location restricted run next. This is Reldar Thevlas of the Great House in Doral, and I shall see you next time. Swits!